Welcome to News Now. I'm Prema Rajaram, and today we have with us Surya Shekhar Ganguly. We're talking about chess. Yes, chess is a mind game. It's a game which is very interesting. A lot of youngsters are taking to this game. Tell us more about youngsters in Bengal and about online, how you all are encouraging youngsters to take on chess and to even look at it as a career.
Right. So, talking about youngsters, I don't want to confine myself only in Bengal, but want to speak about Indian chess. It's booming. Right now, Chess Olympiad is going on, and we are leading as we speak, right? And if you look at the Indian team, it's full of youngsters. Whether you take Gukesh or Prag or Arjun, and even otherwise, there are like players like Nihal, Ronak. So I think not in just chess, but in any field, whenever you see new faces are coming, youngsters are coming, that means it's actually progressing. But when in any particular place, you see the same face for ages, then that means, it's not dynamic enough. In fact, from my point of view, if I think right now I'm, let's say, highest rated player of Bengal, of course, personally, I would want to be at best of my shape. But it's also pity that even as on today, I am the highest rated player. It should not be the case.
But wouldn't that be competition which would somewhere discourage you? Healthy competition, of course, would encourage you.
So that's what, if you are asking me from a personal point of view, then of course I would want to be the best player in the world, let's say. But if you are saying for India what is best, or for Bengal what is best, I'm not talking about myself in general. I'm saying at every sport, the youngster should eventually take over. That's how it should be. That's how it should make the progress.
That's very encouraging of you.
Right?
The fact that you believe that youngsters are the future of chess and you are encouraging them. So how do you encourage them?
So, okay, once again, not just in chess. I feel it's everywhere applicable. In any profession, it should be like this. There should be more and more youngsters coming. How do I encourage youngsters? Well,
is it easy or difficult in this day and age? Because yes, there is access to everything online, but that can also be a distraction.
So I think it's mutual. So not only just in Bengal or India, like anywhere, wherever I'm meeting youngsters, I think it's very mutual. I learn a lot from them, without a doubt. My two biggest coach I have is my son, who is 1 year old, and my daughter, who is 3.5 years old. On a daily basis, I learn how to lead life from them. And in terms of giving youngsters, I think what they can learn from me is my experience, maybe. What went wrong, what went, in some cases, what went right, and so on. So I can share experience with them with an open mind, because I also feel every generation is actually smarter than their previous generation. So let's talk about my kids. I would want them to be 100 times more smarter and successful than I am. Yeah?
When are they going to start playing chess?
I'm not going to teach them, that's very clear.
Why not? Because
I don't want to teach them anything as such. So basically, my parenting is more like I want to learn from them. I want to give them two things basically. One is a lot of travel in nature, and second thing, if only one thing I can give them, that will be the ability to think independently. The ability to question.
Chess does that.
And yes, chess definitely does that. And then they can pick up whatever they want to do. It is not mandatory that they have to, play chess or become a doctor or whatever, like be an astronaut. It's their wish. But whatever you do, do it independently, do it creatively, and don't be afraid of failure.
What about those who want to make chess a career? A lot of youngsters do aim to be where you are. What is your message for them, and what is the right direction for them?
So primarily, I think the first condition is, are you doing something that you enjoy, that you love?
You were an international master at 16 and grandmaster at 19.
Right.
So for a youngster to want to be that, what is the focus that they should have?
You do know, right? Yeah, I was grandmaster at 19, but you do understand that if on today's world, If somebody is becoming grandmaster at 19, it's like, it's already like a dinosaur. Because the chess has evolved a lot. One example, in 1995, I was 12 years old and I defeated a grandmaster. Back then, it was on world record. And it was some sort of sensation, yeah, like a 12-year-old kid defeating a grandmaster and so on. In today's world, at the age of 12, players are becoming grandmaster. Forget defeating grandmaster. They themselves are grandmaster. So, it has drastically changed. It has become very young. So,
the interest begins from what age?
When I was playing chess, 5 was the typical number. Like, not that many players started playing chess at the age of 5. Now, it is very normal. I have seen kids 4.5 years old. I have seen 3.5 years old kids, already they're able to play chess. That's unbelievable. But getting back to your question, I think primarily it's very important that are you enjoying what you're doing. So when parents ask me, their kids wants to start chess, 5 years old, 10 years old, doesn't matter. I don't emphasize on, you get one particular good teacher, he will come to your house, he will teach you individually. No, that's not very important actually. At the very beginning, when you are learning chess, it should be treated as a sport. So it's very important that you find a place where there are 10 other kids. So it comes like a package, they will have the chess class, maybe after that, they're playing in the ground or they're, speaking, they will find their own games and everything, but very important,
the exposure.
He is enjoying being part of it. Look, no subject is boring. Only teacher can make it boring. If I am explaining you chess and you are not enjoying, it's not fault of chess. Or if you are explaining me about journalism and I am not enjoying, it's not the subject.
It's
Maybe
the right
you are not,
manner in which it is.
how exactly you are, or it could be like you are saying you are explaining me in the right direction. Maybe right now I'm not in a mood to listen to this. But then you have to respect that, right, as a teacher. So for me, when I'm teaching,
patience as a teacher.
Yeah. So for me, like when I'm, teaching kids, it has never happened. But if it ever happens, I consider this as a failure that, they do one class, like I'm teaching, and then next class they are not sure if they should come or not. For me, that means I could not make it enough interesting to the kid or to the student. And this does not matter if the student is 2700 player or an unrated player, because the subject is very rich. I have to somehow bring that interest in them.
So when you talk about interest and you talk about chess evolving by the day, you recently played against Sam Shacklin, and it was very interesting because the rules were different.
Right.
What was that like? It was sometime in September.
It was like a couple of weeks before, after I finished Indian Championship in Delhi.
And you won that as well. Congratulations.
Well, yeah. I don't know how to respond to this. Thank you. But it's also very pity that I actually could not win because my tiebreak was bad by half a point. Although I played from first round to last round, I always played at top. I won my first 7 games. My last 4 games ended in a draw. And the person who won, he played good and everything, but he was coming from, behind, and we never faced each other. So to me, it was like an unfinished battle. Like by the time he sort of caught me, we never played against each other. And in tiebreak, somehow his tiebreak was half a point better. So starting from, I think, round 6, if the tournament would have stopped at any point, I will be the champion. If the tournament would last one more day, then at least I get to play him. We don't know what would have happened, but I get to play him. But the tournament stopped exactly at that moment when, he is having same points as me, and then he's also having half a point more tie breaks. And yeah, speaking about the Shankland match, the score was slightly different. That is, if a player wins, he gets 5 points, and loser will get 0. In draw, we get 4 points. But these 4 points will be divided as either 3-1 or 2-2, depending on the number of materials we have. So while we are checking for whether to take a draw or not, we also have to count the materials. So this was making everything a little bit complicated. Like we are not used to. For example, imagine a position where I have king and knight and you have king. In normal chess, this would be draw and we'll get half points each. But here, since I have one extra material, although the position is drawn, I'll get 3 points and he'll get 1. The most interesting part was what I felt. Let's say I won the first game, so I get 5 points. And now you lost the first game with me, so you are 0, I am 5. And next 3 games, you make draws. But every draw, wherever you made, you had more material. So you kept on getting 3 points, I kept on getting 1 point. So at the end of the match, although I won 1 game and drew 3 games, you will be the winner because of this system.
So how did you feel about a different point system?
I thought 2 things changed drastically. One is the opening, because in many openings, particularly from black, there are lines where we give, let's say, 1 pawn or some material, and then the position is equal. This we cannot do anymore. So some of the openings we could not play. And the entire endgame theory changed. Like as I was saying, king knight versus king, now it is not a draw. So the opening phase and endgame phase changed a lot. And I enjoyed the match. I got very early lead. I think the very first day I won 3 games and drew 1, which means I had like what, 15 and 2. I had 17-2. So this was the first day score. So that was quite nice.
So coming to your movie Dabaru, which was released in May this year in 2024, it was a movie about you, and also there was Dabaru scholarship where you looked at giving students, 10 students, a scholarship. How did you think about that? It coincided with the movie, and it also, of course, goes with your aim of promoting and encouraging youngsters.
Right. So 2 things separately. Okay, let's come to Dabaru scholarship first. So I was offered, some sort of token remuneration basically, and they offered me 5 lakhs. And I thought this is not, making a huge difference in my life. Like whether I could also do it for free. So at some point I thought instead of taking anything from them, I'll just do it for free, because okay, they are also doing this movie, it will promote chess, it will be very good for, in general, Bengal chess and overall, like how many movies are there on chess. But then I felt other way, like why not to give this money to, 10 different players. And I know how much I used to struggle back in the days, even to get 5,000 rupees. And this was a nightmare. And then we would go for sponsorship, somebody is giving 1,000 rupees. Even actually remember there was one place where I used to get 500 rupees per month, and that meant a lot. We used to wait when this month end will be there, we will go there, we'll get 500 rupees. And I also come from a background where in my house there was no bed. I did not have like basin was not there, there was no shower, there will be this pipe from where I'll be taking bath.
It's a very humble background.
It's a very, very humble background, and I think humble is too humble in this case. But yeah, so I thought this could make some difference. Of course, it's not going to be life-changing for them either, but maybe some sort of motivation.
But that was motivation for you when you were also helped.
Absolutely.
And so you helping others now is some motivation and a way forward.
That was the thought process basically. And then we got several applications. I think the tricky part was which 10 players. How do you define this 10 players? So I was going through the list, looking at their, let's say, monthly income, their performance, how they want to use the money. And again, there is no right or wrong answer. I'm sure, I got this 10 people, there were 50 other kids who were also eligible, but this is what I could do right now. So that was that. And your other question regarding the film, this was an awesome experience overall.
What did you feel about the film?
Well, first time when I heard the script and everything, I thought, no, I'm not going to do this. This is, like there are so many fiction involved. There are some parts where I cannot relate. So if I look at the movie at a micro level and analyze the characters, I cannot completely relate. Like, hey, this is not me. Hey, that's not exactly how my mother was. Or let's say that's not exactly how my father was. If I go into too detail. But if I do it in a broader way, like the struggle, the emotional struggle and everything, then it makes a lot of sense. Then I can relate. This is how it was.
And that's how you related to the film.
That's how I was relating to the film, and there was some constraint, like they could not they could not show many foreign trips and so on. There were many interesting incidents which were not shown because of location issues, budget issues and so on. So they had to compromise on many areas. But overall I think it was good. Although I'm skeptical on one thing, that from audience point of view, I don't know, maybe whatever fiction was shown, they probably think that is the real thing. And whatever reality was shown, probably they think that is fiction.
So there is that blurred line of what is real and what is not real.
I wanted to actually do a stream. Maybe I'll do it at some point to, like once the film comes to OTT, and then maybe at some point I'll do a stream just on this, that real versus real. That could be interesting.
So real versus real, but encouraging youngsters out there. Thank you so much for speaking to us. That was Surya Shekhar Ganguly speaking to us and telling us about his struggles and what he feels about youngsters these days taking on chess as their career option, the focus and how things have changed. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back again.